Hilchos Shekalim Perek Sheni, the laws of the half shekel, chapter 2. Yesterday we learned the obligation, the basic obligation to give a half shekel coin of silver every year to the Beit HaMikdash. And we learned that just about a month before it was time to collect all the shekels together, they would put out an announcement. Everybody would prepare the coins. Then about half a month later, they began to collect. And then 10 days later, they began to force people. 25th of Adar, they're literally going into your house. If you didn't pay the shekel, they're going into your house, taking collateral, etc. Now, we need to know what's the next step. Aleph. Keitzad koinsin hashulchanim es hashkalim. How did the money changers gather together collect all of the half shekel coins? B'chol medina o medina, in every province, every area of Israel, manichim lifneihem shtei tevos. They had two boxes. Something like this. This was just an artist's imagination. Shulei hateva rechavin milamata, upi hatzar milamayla. The bottom of the box was wide on the bottom and narrow on the top. Kimin shofar, like a shofar. They are going diagonally up. In order for everybody to dip, to put the half shekel coin inside, and it wouldn't be easy to take it out because it's narrow on the top. Why two boxes? Why not one? One was for people who were giving this year's half shekel coin. And the second box was for people to put in shekalim from last year. You think only nowadays Jews pay their pledges months later? Those days also. People promise to give a half shekel coin 1 year. 1 year later, they're still giving the coins. So they had a second box for the sheklei shana she'avra, for last year's shekels. Shegoivin mimi shaloi shakal b'shana she'avra. They collect from whoever didn't give last year. That was everywhere in Israel, wherever they were collecting. In Haifa, Beersheva, Tzfat, wherever they were. Uba Mikdash halacha beis, in the holy temple, where all the shkalim came together, hayalif nehem tamid shlosh tevot. They used to actually have 13 boxes, such boxes. Kol teva kemin shofar. Every box looked like this shofar, narrow on the top, wide on the bottom. Imagine like you walk into a shul over here, you have a bunch of tzedakah boxes on the bima. So you walk into the holy temple, there was a place where they had 13 boxes. And each one had a purpose. Rishayna l'shikle shanazu. The first box, top right, was for the shkalim of this year. Somebody came to the temple, wanted to give his half shekel coin. He put it in. Shniya l'shikle shana shavra. The second one was for last year's half shekel coins. Shlishis. The third box, nothing to do with half shekels. Now we're moving to other things. L'chol mi sheyesh olav karban shtei toirim or shnei b'nayayna. Anybody who had to bring a sacrifice of 2 pigeons or 2 turtle doves, this is called in halacha kinim. A ken is a pair of birds. So many people have to bring for their korban a pair of birds, 2 birds. Echad oila ve'echad chatas. Kansipor, exactly. Echad oila ve'echad chatas. One was a burnt offering, one was a sin offering. Mashlich demehem tevazu. He would throw in his money into this box. The Rambam describes elsewhere that if you had a bird offering to bring, you wouldn't come to the temple with your birds or buy birds and then bring it. You would put it into this box and the Kohanim would take care of it later. Every day they would open the box, take out all the money, buy a bunch of pairs of birds, and bring it on the Mizbeach. So you put the money in there. Revis, the fourth box, L'chol mi sheyesh alav oila sa'if bilvad. Anybody who had to bring just a burnt offering of a bird. The other box was for echad olav, echad chatat, 1 burnt, 1 sin. This is if you only had to bring 1 bird, a burnt offering. You put your money in there. Chamishi is the 5th box. L'misha hisnadev mois liknes eitzim lama'aracha bohem. Somebody wants to donate money to the firewood on the altar. Every day there's a lot of wood that was needed, right, to burn up all the sacrifices. You put money to donate for wood, you put it in the 5th box, eitzim. 6th box, shishit. L'misha hisnadev mois l'levayna. Somebody wants to give money for the livona. Livona is a type of spice, frankincense, the white spice. And every Shabbat it was brought with the lechem hapanim, the showbread that was in the temple. Just livona was brought. Shvis, the 7th box, l'misha hisnadev zohav lakapayres. Somebody wants to donate gold for the cover of the Aron Kodesh. The cover of the Aron Kodesh was fully made out of gold. On Yom Kippur, some blood could land on it because the Kohen Gadol, when he would go inside, he would sprinkle with blood, so that the gold can get a little bit dirty.
Was gold plated?
No, it was actual gold.
The whole thing.
The kaporet was zahav. So, if you wanted to donate gold to repair it, to relay it, you put it into that box. Shmini is the 8th box, lemoisar chatas, leftover money from a sin offering. What does that mean? Let's say somebody put aside $200 for his sin offering. The laka chatas v'haiser minama is he bought a cow for 150, so he has $50 to spare. Yash lichashar l'seicha, you put the other $50 in that box, in the 8th box, motar chatat, the leftover of the sin offering. Tishi is lemoisar asham, the 9th box, for leftover of an asham. Someone has a guilt offering, he buys, there's extra money, you put the extra money in the box. Asiri is lemoisar kine zavim v'zavis v'yoldis, the 10th box for leftover money of pairs of birds that were brought by zavim v'zavot, that's a man or a woman who has an abnormal discharge, or a yoled, that they're a birthing woman after she gave birth and finishes her time period of tumah. She brings a sacrifice of birds, and if there was leftover money, you put it in the box.
Why not put it in the 3rd box? You have already kinim. Why
This is for new kinim. This is leftover money of kinim.
I know. Why not in
2 different boxes.
Why not in the same?
Because the birthing woman would bring her own actual pair of birds. So there's only money for leftovers. Achas esrei lemoisar karbanes nazir. The 11th box was for leftovers of a nazir. A Nazirite brings a bunch of sacrifices. If he has extra money, he puts it in the 11th box. Shtei mesrei lemoisar asham mitzorah. The 12th box left over for the guilt offering of a mitzorah. Somebody who has tzarat, lesions on his skins, he becomes pure, brings some sacrifices. If there's extra money, you put it in the 12th box. 13th box, somebody who gives money to bring regular olot, burnt offerings. This is the Talmud calls this kayitz lamizbeach. If the mizbeach was ever not busy, say it was an easy day, no sacrifices being brought, the Kohanim would go into this 13th box, open up the money, and buy animals and just bring on the mizbeach so it should be busy. So the mizbeach should always be working. Gimel, the shem kol davar. The name of every item whose money was in the box, was written on the box on the outside, like over here. Now the Beit Din had a condition that all the leftover boxes, motar chatat, motar asham, motar kin, all the motars, and they should be brought as burnt offerings of animals. In other words, all this money would be converted into bringing regular burnt offerings. Nimtzei salamed, which means that all the money in the last 6 boxes all went to buying olot, burnt offerings of animals, and the skins of these animals would go to the Kohanim, kishar kol ha'oires, like any other skin of an animal. All the money in the 3rd box, likach bahen oifes, was to buy birds, chetzion oiles v'chetzion chatais, half burnt offerings, half sin offerings. In the 4th box, it was all brought burnt offerings of birds, because that's what it was for. Olat ha'of, you would bring the money for that. Dalid, returning to the half shekel. B'chol medina o medina, in every province, kishegoyven hashkalim, once they collected the half shekel coins, meshalchin leisan b'yad shluchim lamikdash, they would send them all in the hands of agents to the Bet HaMikdash. V'yesh lahem letzaref leisan b'din reizav mipnei masei aderech. They were allowed to change the money from half shekel silver coins to bigger golden coins, because otherwise it was too much money to carry. Imagine carrying 3 sacks of pennies. Change the pennies into dollar bills and you're good. The hakol miskabtim lamikdash, all the money will be brought to the Bet HaMikdash. And he put all the money into one room, a special room in the Bet HaMikdash. All the doors were closed with special keys. With seals and signets, so nobody should break in. There's a lot of cash in here. They would fill up from all the coins that gathered there 3 big boxes. That's in the back. See, 1, 2, 3, 3 big boxes. Shir kol kupa kadesha tachil teisha sein. Every box can hold 9 se'ah, which is a big volume. The hashar manichin balishka, and the rest was just left in the room. So only the boxes would fill up. The rest of the coins would be left in the room. V'zesha b'soicha kupa is all the money in the boxes. Hu hanikra trumas halishka. That's called the donation of the room. And we're going to see in 2 days what we did with this money. Whatever is left over the boxes, hu hanikra sheyare halishka. That's called the leftovers of the room, of the chamber. And we're going to see also in 2 days what they did with the leftover money. But first, you have 3 big boxes plus all leftover money. Now, what are these sacks? So we're going to see in a second. Hey, bishleisha prakim bashana terminas halishka. 3 times a year, they would take out money from these boxes. V'Reish Chodesh Nisan, U'Reish Chodesh Tishrei, Kodim Yom Tov V'Yacharav, the Kodim Atzeres B'Chamisha Asar Yom. The first day of Nisan, 2 weeks before Pesach, the first day of Tishrei, but not exactly on Rosh Hashanah, 1 day before, 1 day after, and 15 days before Shavuot. So 15 days before every major holiday, because Rosh Hashanah is 15 days before Sukkot. The Ketzad Terminaisa, how exactly would you separate coins from these boxes? Echad nichnas lifnim min alishka. One guy goes inside the room, the hashemrin emdim bachutz, with guards standing outside. V'hu omer lehem, and this guy would ask the guards, Esraim, should I separate? Should I take some money? V'hein omrim loy, troim, troim, troim. They would say, take. Shalosh pamim, 3 times. Then he would fill up 3 small boxes over here, the 3 sacks. From the 3 big boxes. And he takes them outside so that they can use the money, and we'll see what they use the money for in 2 days, until they were over. Then when the money was finished, you go back and refill the 3 small boxes, min shalish gedolos, from the 3 big boxes, pam shniya kedem atzeres, the second time before Shavuot, and you use it till the money is finished. Vav v'chayzer u'memali and pam shlishis, and the third time you fill it up, min hashalish kupes hagdeles b'tishrei, from the 3 big boxes in the month of Tishrei, u'mistapkin mehen achiyichlu ad resh chedesh Nisan, and you use them till they finished, till the new month of Nisan the next year. Over resh chedesh Nisan termin mitruma chadashan, and that once the new month of Nisan comes in, we begin taking again from the New Year's shkalim, because by that time the Jews already donated coins again.
Oh, when you say guard, you mean armored guard?
Huh?
Armored guard?
Just guards watching that they shouldn't steal.
Armored or?
I don't think they were armed.
Yeah,
If the money in the 3 big boxes wasn't enough, there was so many sacrifices or public needs that they used up all the coins, and they finished all the coins before the new month of Nisan came in, before the new coins were collected. Then the Kohen could go and use from all the leftover money that was hanging out that didn't make it into those 3 boxes. Zayin, shalosh kupais haktanes, the 3 small boxes, shehuterim bahenu mitzion lachutz, which you used to separate money and took them outside. Kosuv aleihen aleph beis gimel. It said on them aleph beis and gimel. No, here they have ABC. I don't know. They have Kvesvas. Aleph beis gimel. Kadei sheyistapko min harishayna ad shetichle, va'achar kach mistapkim min hashniya, va'achar kach mistapkim min hashlisha. So they can go in order. They use first from the first box, then from the second box, then from the third box. Now, the first small box was filled up from the first large box. See, this one's open. He's filling it up from here into this box. And then you would cover this big box with a cloth. Then from the second box you put into the second sack, and you cover the second one with a cloth. Then you put the third box from the third box, but you don't cover it. You leave it uncovered, so that it's clear that was the one that you used last time. And you begin from that box the second time around, when you go in before Shavuot. So then you fill up the first box from the one that you left open last time, and you cover it. Then you take the second, you fill up the second basket from the first box that you used first last time, and you cover it. Then you fill up the third box from what's now the second box that you used second last time. You don't cover it. So you begin with that one when you go in the third time by Tisha. In other words, each box should have a chance to be first. So that it'll end up that every one of the small boxes is filled up from every one of the 3 big boxes. When you separate money from the 3 big boxes, you remove from the first box having in mind all Jews in Israel. The second box you had in mind all the walled cities in Israel and all the Jewish people. The hashlishis, l'shem Bavel, l'shem Madai, or l'shem Medinas HaRechaikos, or l'shem Sha'ar Kol Yisrael. The third box, when you separated the money, you had in mind all the far provinces who probably couldn't make it in time. Babylonia, Media, all the far countries, and the rest of the Jewish people that were going to bring it later during the year. Tes, kishehu tayrem, when you remove money from the boxes, miskaven lisraim, you have to have in mind that you're removing al hagavui sheyesh balishka, the al hagavui she'adayin lo higia lalishka, the al ha'asid ligvais. You have to have in mind that you're taking money for all the money that was already collected and is in the room, all the money that was already collected and is not in the room yet, still coming, and all the money that wasn't even collected yet. So that way, these half shekel coins that you're taking out to use will be kapara al Yisrael, will be an atonement for all Jewish people, as if all the coins reached the room, and on behalf of all of them, the separation was taken. When the remover, the guy who's in charge of taking out the coins, goes inside, we make a lot of precautions that he shouldn't steal money. Don't let him go in with a cloth where you can hide money, like a jacket. You can put money in the pockets. They didn't have sensors in those days, yeah? So you can't go in with a jacket that you can hide money. Not with shoes or sandals, nor with your tefillin, or with an amulet. These are all spots that you can hide some money.
But you can hide it in your turban. You can hide it in your...
Same thing. Any clothing that you can put money in, they didn't let him go in with. Only a plain cloth. People are going to suspect, and they're going to say, he took some money on the side when he separated the money. It's not a joke, by the way. Last year there was a story, this lady hid like tons of euros. It happened in Europe. There's tons of euro notes in her shoes. And she stole money that way. It happens still today.
From where?
In England somewhere.
Some religious institution?
No. Just stole money.
How much money? It could be all of it.
A lot of $20 banknotes. You put it in the shoes. Anyway, they were very careful. They would talk with him the whole time, from when he went in till when he went out, so he shouldn't hide any money in his mouth. And even though they were so careful, a poor person or somebody who was after money, they didn't let him do this job. As it says, we always look to make you blameless, be clean when it comes to the Jewish people and God. You don't want anybody to suspect you. Don't do any tricks, any kombinot. How do they check the mouth? They would talk with him the whole time. So he didn't have to put anything in his mouth. Okay? Chazaku Baruch.